So much to talk about when you consider all that has unfolded, in the course of the week in the Euros, in the Copa America. So much to talk about. So, two big finals coming up this weekend: the Euros, England versus Spain; in the Copa America, Argentina versus Colombia; and even in the Wimbledon, there is a Ghanaian interest there. Yeah, man. Whether you like it or not, we are claiming her. She's Ghanaian Italian. Yeah. And for those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about, stay tuned to the show because we'll bring you that gist very shortly. But guess what? We'll be in the USA because that's where Gary Smith will join us. However, we're supposed to be in Russia, but Russia has come to Ghana. So Ghana's ambassador to Russia has arrived. No, Game Plan's ambassador to Russia has arrived. And we'll be introducing him very shortly. In fact, he has come with all the details relating to how Putin has remained on top of Ukraine so far. So he has all the details and you'll be hearing from him very shortly. Well, the man who hasn't recovered from Portugal's exit from the Euros is also here. Charlie, you say about Ronaldo and not say, hey, don't mention Ronaldo, don't mention Ronaldo. All the blame goes to João Felix. All the blame is going to João Felix. And he says today he has a message for João Felix. Well, Victor Achutamaklo will also be hearing from him, and he's got some gist for us because of the course of the week he visited the Koforidua Youth Resource Center and went to see the state of it. Talking about the Youth Resource Center at Exim, the facility, which as of last year was 85% complete, is now overgrown with weeds and the seats are, an eyesore. The youth marched to the site protesting that they've given government 2 weeks ultimatum to open the facility, to complete and open the facility. And yes, sir, Abano Omonto. Yeah, so much to talk about. My name is Razak Musbao, and sitting for your regular Fento, Tahiru Fento, who is having some other engagement. But we would love to hear from you on the course of the show here on 055 1111 997. And so send your WhatsApp messages on the Euros, on the Copa America, and we'll get to talk about all of them. Well, let me bring in the guys now. And first of all, let me start with Victor Achu Tamaklo.
Alhaji Musbao.
Achu Tamaklo.
Musbao.
Your stomach is in order now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is in order.
Yeah, it's in order, isn't it? I saw your number. When you went to the region, your number was what? Number what? Your number what?
78.
Number 78.
But I got rescued out of that queue.
Yeah, and when was it? Was it last week Saturday? Last week Saturday, I saw that when you came for the Prime Sports Extra,
yeah,
you didn't come with your bag only. You came with an extra.
Yeah.
And I was like, Achu, you've learned your lessons, haven't you?
It's not me learning my lesson. They are sitting on my freedom.
Who is sitting on your freedom?
The hospital people. They are now dictating how I should live my life.
Oh, really? You've been denied
supposed to be a free world.
Food.
Supposed to be a free world.
Yeah. Yeah, for your safety.
But
for God and country.
I've tagged myself in. Before you introduce me, I've tagged myself
Tag
in.
yourself in.
Who needs friends?
Did you hear what
enemies
he
with
said
friends
before?
like this?
He said I was rescued out of that queue. What do you mean by that? You use protocol.
Ooh.
So you bypassed 77 other people
He was
and jumped the queue and went to get medical treatment ahead of them.
You
are still here, you are.
Now let me explain.
You jumped the queue.
Let me explain.
This kind of people, when
Anybody
they enter
who goes
politics,
to rage. No.
these kind of people, when they enter politics, then will come and sit here.
No, you see.
There were 77 people ahead of you. 1 to 77 in front of you going to see the doctor. You jumped the queue because you are Achu Tamaklo of Joy Sports. You jumped the queue.
He said he was rescued. So let's listen to
He
him.
misfired.
Okay.
I joined the wrong queue.
Oh.
Then I
Napo.
no. Wait.
Napo, we can't.
I joined the wrong queue.
Uh-huh.
Then fortunately for me,
Napinho.
fortunately for me, there was someone there who is a listener of our shows.
Okay.
Identified me. Listen.
Uh-huh.
And then, Charlie Bayu, big man power is where I said, listen, calm down. I said, blood flows through me just like everyone else. Then he said, so which card are you here with? Then I said, private insurance. Then he said, if it is corporate, then you don't need to be in this queue because there is a separate queue for corporate card holders. Then I joined that one.
Napu.
And that one is it's not Napu.
Napu.
And that one is shorter.
Napu. We catch
You
up.
see, otherwise,
We catch up. We will not accept this.
Charlie, we catch you. We catch you.
We catch you soon.
But let's go to Russia Bagana.
Yeah, thank you.
Russia Bagana.
Thank you.
Charlie, what is his name?
Original
the name
settings
that
man.
Karim.
Vladimir Astrimuk Sichov, aka Patov and Tatov.
No man, I'm back. I'm back.
You are back.
I'm back.
Swagnier.
I'm back.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Tanya.
Spasiba.
see, your
Da.
man. See, your man did there. He had the courts. He was having fun. But after reading through the various tabloids in the last 48 hours, he realized if he stays there any longer than necessary, you go there and they will call him say, Charlie, I buy not ton nine.
Like you know, come the game plan today,
Bro.
Oh. See, I would have been happy to stay there. Make no shake. Man. No, man.
Charlie.
But the war, they go on for there or something. What they have?
There's normal life in Russia. I mean, I traveled across many cities in Russia. I was in Sochi, I was in Krasnodar, Petersburg, I was in Moscow. Normal life. Trains are working, internal flights are working, transportation, all the metros are working. I mean, people live their normal life. So when you speak to the Russians there, it appears that those of us in this part of the world in or outside Russia even know more about the world than those in Russia.
Wow.
And when I quizzed them and some others who were there has not been a second of a pause in normal life activities. It's not like, all right, so there's this serious matter, so hide under the bunker, don't step out of your room. There hasn't been a second of a pause. It's been normal life since we heard about the start of the war.
Wow.
Russia is so huge that its borders are covered with forests and water. Its cities are very much central inside the big land that they have. So before you actually breaching the big forest on the borders and the water into mainstream Russia, it's a massive job you have to do. So the war is happening very far from human lives, and the Russians are enjoying lives. They are happy, and I went to have the fun with them in the summer. It was magnificent.
Amazing. The way the way they do the magnificent.
It was.
You know, as he told the magnificent, we licking lips.
Yeah.
You know, see the
Memories.
He post some picture here. The skies. You say if you take a picture of Ghana skies, where you go your editing app inside, where you decrease brightness, where you increase contrast, where you take some filter be put up, that's what you go get to. But situation will be clear.
Natural.
It be
Natural filter.
The place is you. Oh, Charlie.
Sharp. Well, as I mentioned, we're going to be joined by Gary Smith also. Not sure if he's joined on Zoom. Let's see.
Garino.
Garino.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gary, let's start base with you. Gary's in the
How
USA.
you all doing? How you all doing? How
Charlie
you all
Brown
doing?
Brown.
What
Yo, man.
Oh my God.
Yo, bro. I feel you, bro.
Yeah, how you all doing, bro? Look, for the first time in my life, Charlie, it's so hot. Like, it's abnormally unseasonably hot in the US. Like, it's not even a joke. It's not supposed to be like that. But Charlie, I didn't miss the Ghana heat. You didn't imagine. I didn't miss the Ghana heat.
Heat
Because the
heat.
Ghana heat, Charlie. I know the fit. It's crazy. But yeah, everything is going on well. The tournament is great, and I'm sure we are going to discuss a few things pertaining to it as well.
Ask Gary one. If you finish, I want to ask Gary one thing. Yeah, Gary.
Yes.
I mean, we were in Qatar together, and ahead of the World Cup, massive complaints about the weather and how hot it could be. You've lived through this. Of course, Qatar was in November, December, and you've been to Qatar when it's been very warm. The heat wave that you are describing in the USA, where they are playing the Copa America, compared to what you normally see in the Middle East, is it very different? Is it healthy for players and for fans to be in the major tournaments around this time of the year in the USA?
Well, this is not me saying it, but if you've watched anything about the weather reports, you can tell that we are literally having Qatar-like weather in many parts of the US. So unfortunately, unless something changes, we would have to be dealing with a Qatar-like weather system again in the World Cup. Unfortunately for all of us, the US is not going to have air-conditioned stadia like Qatar had. That's the big question. Now, because of television times, the games are going to be played at times where, basically in the afternoons, you saw in some of the Copa America matches. So it's a huge issue that the organizers have to start looking at. Now, secondly, the security at the stadia is, let me just be blunt about it, has been subpar. The excuse that has been given is that possibly, obviously, this is a CONMEBOL organized event.
Yeah.
If FIFA takes over and organizes it, there'll be more structure, things will be better. But it's been really, really difficult because I cannot for the life of me, I mean, even in Ghana where we have crowd issues, you do not mix fans of opposing teams. It is just not done. How much more in a semi-final where you have two passionate teams like Uruguay and Colombia, and it happened in other games, but it just blew over because the families of the Uruguayan players were involved this time, and it was caught on video. But a lot of the South American journalists have gone back to pull videos from earlier this year where Brazil played Chile, and the families of Brazilian players were banged in the middle of both sets of fans. So it seems like it's a systemic problem. I have not wanted to say this on Twitter because, basically, I mean, I was helped by some of my contacts to get all the accreditation and everything. But look, it is not often that you see that Charlie Africa will be ahead of somebody. Bro.
Yeah, Gary.
My brothers.
Gary.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. I want to ask this to while you talk about the security issue. Is it a matter of the architecture of the stadium you've got in the USA that has the capacity to host 90,000, 80,000? I mean, consistently having close to 100,000 fans coming into the stadium. That makes security and how to deal with this crowd more difficult. Because when you go to Europe or even in Qatar, it was 35,000, 40,000, sizable to manage.
No.
When you go to England, the Premier League, Spanish La Liga.
Not that. I mean, the immediate example I can say or I can give to counter that is the new camp. The new camp is a huge stadium. They don't have these issues. I'm speaking specifically about, making sure that opposing fans do not sit next to each other, or there's a clear line or there's a clear barricade between opposing fans, and especially the families of the football players. I mean, there has to be a VIP space for those people to sit. You don't mix them with fans, and for good reason, especially not with opposing fans. So that's the problem, and this seems to be a very CONMEBOL problem, and they need to sort it out. Hopefully, when the World Cup comes around, that will be organized by FIFA, right? And so things will be different, and I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. But I was also saying that it goes beyond the fans, Sicho. Look, I didn't want to say this on Twitter because I didn't want to sort of, I've been helped by a couple of people to get accreditation and so on. I didn't want to sort of bite the hand that has helped me to, get this access and all that. But the accreditation, try and enter, like all of us, after this show, CONMEBOL's official website, and try and enter the media hub. It is like the CAF website of 2010. It is an absolute disaster. I'm hearing horror stories about when the Copa America started and media could not get in with 30 minutes to time because the system could not even authenticate who was who. This is in 2024. Look, when I started my accreditation process, the website was so bad that I literally, on every serious website, you have the English version, the French version, maybe the Spanish version. This one, you needed your Google Translate to translate the website for you. That is how bad it was. So when I got to getting my accreditation, they couldn't find my name, and we were there for about 15, 20 minutes. You know what the problem was? because the Google Translate had mistranslated everything for me, I had put my surname where my first name should have been and vice versa. So they were typing Al Smith, and so we spent 20 minutes putting Gary where Al Smith would have been, and we couldn't find my stuff. But somebody just said, let's just flip it. Then we put Al Smith where Gary should be, and lo and behold, that's where my details were. Wow. It's been a whole lot of issues, and it's really difficult. You know, players like, remember when Messi complained about how bad CONMEBOL and the Argentine, remember he complained about that a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Look, it's problematic. And at every international tournament, at the very least, there are some languages that are made official. So, I mean, you have your English, you have your Spanish, or at least your English and your French. At Copa America, it's Spanish and nothing else. Spanish 1, Spanish 2. We, the English speakers, this is the first time in my life and in my career that as an English speaker, I was made to feel like an outsider. Like, nobody they see you say you speak English. Our only saving grace is that it is being held in the United States of America.
Yeah.
That is evidently you will have somebody who speaks English, but as an English speaker, you are decidedly second. You are a second-class citizen. So, I mean, obviously, this is Copa America, this is CONMEBOL, and when it comes to the FIFA events, but FIFA was there because obviously some of the stadia are going to be used to host the World Cup. Now, one of the big problems that I have already been told by FIFA's people is that, guess what? The MetLife Stadium, which is what hosted Argentina versus Canada, is apparently supposed to host the World Cup final. It is riddled with structural issues. And that is because, Sicho, of what you said. It is not built with football in mind.
Yeah.
It is not built with football in mind. First of all, the stadium is out. It is out there. You remember the African Cup of Nations? I mean, the stadium, the Abidjan Stadium was like out of town.
Yeah.
You know, and so exactly. That's the first thing. It's out of the New Jersey area. Transportation links are difficult. So it's going to be a huge problem. Thankfully, I am hearing that FIFA, because they have one year to go to the World Cup, there may be and FIFA don't do that. When they've settled on a venue, they will settle on that venue. But I'm hearing that things might be discussed to a level where they may change where the World Cup final will be hosted in a couple of things. Because, look, I know it's the United States of America, but America is not prepared for this World Cup with 1 year to go. And I'm not talking the kind of Qatar was not prepared things that they were saying. Some of the problems are not, it's America. You cannot fix them overnight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You cannot fix them overnight because it's trains, it's transportation links. These are historical legacy issues. You can't go to the people of New Jersey and say that they should change their train system, bro. I mean, they don't have money. It's America, but they are broke. They are broker than a Metropolitan Assembly. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm glad I have come to see and see it myself, you know, and, well, hopefully, and I'm glad that's why, I think that is why FIFA has moved their offices to the United States. I'm sure you might know that.
Yeah.
The legal office of FIFA has been moved entirely from Switzerland and it's based currently in Miami. They are going to move some of their major offices also from Switzerland and they are going to base it in the US. Simply because the distances, I mean, you are going to have a World Cup, some in Mexico, some in Canada, some in, in the United States. And the distances between the venues is not normal. Otherwise, people are not going to enjoy the World Cup. Even with this Copa America, you know, some of the distances that fans have had to travel is obscene. You know, the monies that have had to be spent is obscene. We are looking at the ticketing prices. The ticket price for the final was $400 when it started. You know, now it's up to $2,500 and $5,000 for the cheapest ticket, and $5,500. That is wrong. Obviously, FIFA has fail-safe mechanisms as well, but this is the United States. I mean, it's the home of capitalism. You know, people are going to sell the tickets for outrageous amounts, and I know it's FIFA. They are going to work on it. They are going to be, you know, but yeah, what we have seen with this Copa America, especially with the organization, has not been good at all. You know, and so we'll see how it goes.
Okay, well, that's Gareth Smith. It's still going to be on, and we're going to discuss it even further. Not sure what the conversation has been in the USA. It's over there regarding Brazil's performance, but Ronaldinho, the country's legend, did pass some very interesting comments about the team. So we'll get to talk more about it even ahead of the final this weekend between Colombia and Argentina. James Rodriguez, interestingly, is standing up really well. Is on the road to becoming maybe player of the tournament. So we'll see how things unfold there. But also remember that the EcoBank Habitat Fair is ongoing at the at the Tema Metropolitan Assembly. It started today, so 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it's all the way through to 6 p.m. and all the way through to the weekend till Sunday. The admission is free. So if you're in and around Tema, Spintex Road, Bone, Community 25, Dawenya, Pram Pram, Tokoli, and Dawa, among others, then don't miss the fair. Remember that the fair is the EcoBank Joe News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and it's powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitat, Rent to Own, and it's sponsored by Elegant Homes, where quality meets value, safety, and home solutions. You think of a door, we have it. G&J Technical Service, G&J, the generator people, DPS, pipes connecting you to live global lighting, your solution to quality lighting. Super Lock, you deserve the best Everlast UPVC windows and doors, the right choice for windows and doors. Syntex Tank is stronger, tough. Lesh Fortune Limited, luxuriously perfect. DBS Roofing Industry, your roof expert, virtual security, complete security solution. Yoben Security Doors, protecting lives and properties. Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investment. EcoBank. Johnny's Habitat Fair, get a house, make it a home. Well, let's stay on the Copa America conversation. And also, while we are doing that, remember that the show is brought to you by Petrosol, your trusted brand for clean fuel in full quantity. As delighted to inform you that we were adjudged the brand of the year at the just ended Ghana Energy Awards. We would like to congratulate you as well as thank you, our cherished customers across the country, for your patronage and loyalty to Petrosol. Remember, every drop matters and every penny counts. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Well, let me come to Achu and Daniel because they haven't had a take on this on the Copa America. Achu, I mean, you've heard Gary share extensively the organization, etc. Are you surprised, though?
I'm surprised because I think while a lot of the things and everything he said is true, there were some things that I thought were very avoidable. So, for example, when it comes to the seating arrangement and your security detail for where your VIPs and VVIPs would sit, not everyone will be accommodated by the VVIP box or in the VVIP box. That's why, so for example, just so people can relate, the Accra Sports Stadium, the presidential box, only the VVIPs would sit there. But sometimes you would have sponsors of the GFA, sponsors of the league, depending on the game, sometimes CAF sponsors, you have family members, some family members of FA staff or players of the opposing team getting into the VIP section. In bigger stadiums, the VIP is bigger. So the tier below the VIP will accommodate some of these personalities. And that's where very often you'll find that the families of or relatives of some of these players would sit, because not everyone can get into the presidential box. There are some stadiums that by design will offer a certain covering for those in the tier below the VIP, right? So, and that will be in cases where you don't have the VIP and then VVIP. So that small cordoning off that ensures that they don't come into contact with even fans of their own team will shield them and keep them away. There are those who would also station stewards close by to some of them, where in situations where they are exposed. This tournament is happening in the same year where there's been, at the very least, 2 other cases of supporters and relatives of players clashing. Earlier this year, or was it late last year, the Argentina versus Brazil match had to be halted at a point. And which player was it who insisted that the game would not continue until their players were protected? I think it was the two captains. It was Messi.
The captain Messi, yeah. They all said their family.
And this was a very high-profile case. I was thinking that, with that in mind, when you organize the competition, it will be one of the first things you attempt to prevent. Right? And so you keep the fans within reasonable distance of or these individuals so that whatever happens, no matter the provocations, you guarantee their safety. But from everything that we saw, it didn't look like enough was done to ensure that all of these relatives are protected. And for those who are criticizing the players who got in there, if I am in that space and I see someone throw a finger to my daughter, to my mom, a relative, I will go there to try and protect them.
Yeah. I think Darwin Indians had a young kid.
It is their duty
2
to,
or 3 years
and a son, it is their duty to protect their relatives there. And you see, everything is just cause and effect. Everything that happened, every reaction from the players was because the organizers of the competition failed to do their duty. And it escalated to a point where now they had to become the security detail in going into the stands and trying to protect themselves. And by that time, and you see, if you go back to the images from that Brazil-Argentina game, it is not as if there were no security guys inside the stadium. But what was the distance between the fans who were provoked or who provoked whatever happened, the fans who were involved, and the so-called or the quote-unquote VIPs?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The incidents happened before they attempted to get in between the lanes that they should have been occupying in the first place. Final point on this. That region is the hub of passion. The idea that you can allow and you will not put in place certain regulations to limit anything that can influence human behavior in that environment, for me, is simply unpardonable. Even at the Euros, we saw the regulations that UEFA put in place about alcoholism, especially on the English fans who had a history of misbehaving.
Yeah.
With what happened at the Euro 2021 in mind. So look, this is purely on the organizers. They have to take the responsibility for it.
Daniel, I'm not sure where you want to touch on the Copa America.
The football itself.
Yeah.
That's what I want to touch on.
Okay, Brazil.
The Brazilian thing, I don't agree with Ronaldinho. It's funny because during his time, something similar. I thought it was a far worse Brazilian team in terms of individuals in the 2007 Copa. If you look at the squad they took to that Copa, in terms of individuals, their star quality from 2006, it looked like they were in a transition period. That's a team that had Wagner Love and Julio Baptisto, those guys. Thank you. At that time, Robinho was like this fresh kid from. So that team
was like more.
That team was some way, but even they went all the way and they shocked everybody and went to claim it. So I thought it was very unfair criticism from Ronaldinho. And when you looked at the actual football that Brazil played, I don't think it was bad at all. I think that Brazil Uruguay game was one of the most competitive games in this competition. When you're looking across, in fact, from the AFCON to, it was a very keenly contested game. And I was very pained again by the organizers that they decided that we shouldn't do extra time. I didn't understand. For anybody paying money, TV audience, that's a sort of game that deserves to go another extra 30 minutes before you head into penalties. So the way they got kicked out of the competition, I don't think it was something that we haven't seen before, something that is such a huge shocker. And I just think it was a bit unfair. But personally, I wanted Bielsa, and that is Uruguay up against Argentina. I think Uruguay have played the best football in the competition so far. Their games are really interesting. And it's just about the cultural shift in the Uruguayan team and in terms of their stylistic approach. We knew... what was the game? The old man with the stick, their coach, Tavares. Yes. He was a very pragmatic guy. He used his strength, great physicality of his team to get past opposition. But Bielsa has changed this team. They play with a bit more verve, a bit more swag about them. And they are a very interesting team to watch. Look, they fashioned out chance after chance. I really didn't understand. It was one of those games where you look at the bench and you look at Bielsa and there was nothing else he could do. He threw on Suarez at a point. Suarez had some golden opportunities where typical Suarez should be scoring, was missing from 8 yards out and things. So it was one of those games that another classic in the Copa America. But when I look at Colombia's defending in that game, it is very difficult to see how they'll go past Argentina. And if they do, it may be because of this. Look, this 90 minutes thing, it's not normal.
No, but the final will go extra
time.
Yeah.
So then hopefully, of course, that will be. Then I really don't see how.
But there's a Uruguayan side that played against 10-man Colombia. You know, and you mentioned the approach that Bielsa used and all of that, and we're still unable to overcome.
And that's what it was basically due to. It wasn't a coaching issue. It was about inability to put the ball in the back of the net. Darwin Núñez, and I'll not pick on him because I'm tired. We all know he's not a finisher. Like, it's not every day that you can repeat the same thing again. Darwin Núñez was doing Darwin Núñez things, and he had done it.
Supposed to fix him.
Darwin Núñez has done this thing since the start of the competition. Oh, come on! You don't give a 3-week competition to a coach and tell him to transform a player. That thing, it doesn't happen. And look. The guys in and around also are goal scorers. They have goals in them. He brought on Suarez at a point. It just didn't work. If Suarez is missing from 8 yards out, then Darwin Núñez is allowed to miss from 2 yards out. So some of these things, it's a bit sad. But this Colombian team obviously need to defend better. Look, the Argentine team, they are not as exciting as we saw at the World Cup. Their talisman himself, Messi, has not necessarily been himself, but they have shown that this is a team that they don't need him to be 100% for them to be able to function. Yeah. They are a very solid unit. I think the only game that Argentina disappointed me was the Ecuador game. They seemed a bit too open, and it looked like they had sort of underestimated the Ecuadorians. But they were back to, I think, their best. They are efficient best against Canada. And you know that they will approach a final with very high seriousness. So Colombia will need to defend better. Colombia have tools in that team to be able to hurt the Argentines, obviously. I'm not even going to talk about James Rodriguez. I think he does his job a bit quietly. The explosive talent in the Liverpool winger and Luis Diaz. On the bench, they have Sinistera, they have Duran, guys who can come in and impact the game from the bench. But for me, the key thing is about their defending, because Argentina won't give you a lot. In terms of you penetrating them, they won't give you a lot. And they are devastatingly efficient when they go for it. Argentina don't need a 9/10 or 10/10 chance to score you. Messi himself can just wake up and decide that, look, Charlie, this match is dragging. Let me do my things. And he can do it. So you need to defend really well. And once you're able to stay in this game, it's a final. Once you're able to stay in this game like what Ecuador did, equalized last minute and literally had a gilt edge opportunity to clinch. I don't know if you guys watched that game. Literally the last touch of the game, the cross that came in, Ecuador had an opportunity to clinch it. They missed the header from about 6 yards out. They went to penalties and then they end up winning. So it is essential for Colombia to stay in this game. Argentina are favorites for me. I think Argentina will win. I don't think it will travel to 90 minutes, but I think that to 120 minutes. But I think if Colombia are solid enough defensively, they have the tools to take it all the way, and hopefully Argentina will win.
Well, I'm going to come to you, but Gary, let me come back to you. It does look like the guys are leaning towards Argentina. Is there any surprise that Colombia might pull up come this weekend that we are all possibly not seeing? Hello, Gary, are you there?
In fact, Zach, again, quickly before Gary comes in, the Colombia-Brazil game was another one. They are getting the results, but they are not quite convincing me in how they defend. I think Brazil created some good opportunities in that game. We expected that game to be cagey. And the fine details in that Vinicius Junior penalty incident, for example, those fine details, Boga, if you caught Messi in the penalty box like that, clear, don't even wait for VAR, clear, they'll give it as a penalty. If you defend in that way, if you allow the individual quality of the Argentines to be able to isolate you and take you one-on-one, look, these things, you will not get the opportunity. So they need to defend really well and be compact. Don't be in a hurry to take some risks that are not necessary. For me, it's a final. You are not there to entertain. You are there to win. And if they're able to do that, if they're able to keep it a match up until the last 10 minutes, look, they have the tools, as I said, to go and head the Argentines, but I still don't think it will happen.
I'm not sure. We have him on. So Achu come in.
Briefly on the final. Why are you calling me Achu?
Sichov.
Charlie.
Sichov.
Achimuk Sichov. Vladimir Achimuk Sichov.
Sichov.
Tatov.
Say after us. Sichov.
Sichov.
Achimuk Sichov.
And based on pedigree, based on history, Argentina going to the final as favorites. Based on performance in this tournament, I think Colombia have played far better than Argentina. Yeah, and it was always going to be between Colombia and Uruguay. Whoever won that game, and listen, I put every blame of the defeat on Darwin Núñez, because the coach coached a system that created tons of opportunities to the very player you would want those balls to get to. And to be fair to Núñez, in this competition he was firing. He was scoring some very good goals. He was getting. But
Look,
he missed chances.
Núñez could easily have scored 7 goals in this
We
competition.
know he misses chances, but he was at least scoring goals.
Yeah, that's
Every other game he's going to score. Every game is in and around there. But the chances he missed in the semi-finals were unpardonable. These were like free headers, just one curler into the top corner, he would miss it. Like the opportunities were so glaring, it was unpardonable, right? And so I put that defeat right on his doorstep, Darwin Núñez, and he knows that.
Yeah.
Now, I think between Colombia and Uruguay, whoever was going to win that semis, for me, is the team or the better team or the best team of the tournament. Because those two teams have played really well. Argentina have had to grind through some games. And most often than not, results can cloud your judgment about how teams have performed. And listen, Argentina have got experience. When you look at the players who have got in the squad, Rodrigo de Paul, Di Maria, Lionel Messi, Lautaro Martinez, even the young Julian, all of them are very experienced. Enzo Fernandez, all of them are very experienced when it comes to competition and tournament, because they've been there, they've played the World Cup, they've won it. But when it comes to the way they've played as a unit, I think Colombia as a group have done better. But Danny mentions it. The difference between Argentina and Colombia is that Argentina have got a lot of individual match winners. So when you go to play Lautaro Martinez, he's done it over and over and over again for Inter Milan. And even in this tournament, he's been in red hot form.
Yeah.
When you've got to play Lionel Messi, Angel Di Maria in the final, it's a different animal. Right? So they've got what it takes to hurt Colombia. Colombia have gone 28 games without a defeat. The last time they lost, though, was against Argentina. Right? And they're coming up against Argentina in this final. Argentina going as favorites based on pedigree, what they've achieved coming into the tournament. But in the tournament, the team that really between the two has been more impressive for me has got to be Colombia. Do they have what it takes to hurt Argentina? Yes. And this is where it is. Colombia have been devastating with set pieces because of the player behind them. James Rodriguez's delivery that's why he's created the most chances, has more of the assists. When he's delivering from set pieces, either outswing gets, inswing gets, from corner kicks, wherever, they are very dangerous. Argentina will need to now start defending set pieces well, because that could be where the game could be won for Colombia.
Colombia have the height advantage.
All right,
Colombia have got a height advantage as well.
Great. Let me just connect to Gary because he has to move. Gary, I mean, we're just talking about that Colombia-Argentina final, and Achu, what's his name, Sicho. I don't know. Maybe you have to add some Russian Achune to
Sichov.
Yeah, I mean, so Gary, just the final though. A bit on the final. The boys seem to be leaning towards Argentina, but there's some surprise that Colombia is capable of pulling.
Yeah, and I think that's the sentiment. That's the exact sentiment on the ground as well. I mean, you cannot look at an Argentine side like this and discount what they have achieved, having been to 4 finals. So at the press conference after the Argentina-Canada game, Scaloni fielded a lot of questions about the style of the team. What he didn't say, but I mean, they are saying it, but not on camera, is that the Argentine team is playing like this because it seems they are tired, collectively as a group. They've had a long season, which is why they are not being as exciting as we expect them to be. What Scaloni has said, however, is that this team has matured more than any other iteration of the Argentine teams he has coached in the last few years. He believes that this team has learned how to grind out games, and so even if they don't play well, they know how to win. And that may just be the trump card. And I think that's why everybody thinks they are favorites. Sicho, spoke about the fact that they have match winners. They can hurt you from anywhere. So if the game is 50, 60 minutes in the offing, of course, when Leo Messi gets the ball, he's going to give you a different splitting pass. If Lautaro, it's not the Lautaro of a couple of years ago. All manner of players can do all manner of things. But then again, we saw what Colombia also can do in that semi-final. A couple of the players that aren't being given the global attention are able to also change the game as well. So I think if you ask Argentina, they would have wanted, they would have wanted Uruguay in that final because Uruguay are a known quantity to them. They would have known exactly how to plan against Uruguay, what to look out for, what to do. The level of unpredictability would have been lessened, minimized. With Colombia, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. So, yeah, I think that's what the build-up is, and it's going to be. But, look, I think that atmosphere-wise, this is going to be wild, wild, wild. I mean, it's going to be in Miami. On the best of days, Miami is a Spanish town already. On the best of days, And so for this game to be held in Miami, it's going to be like South America on that day on Sunday. So I think the atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric. Also, it seems Colombia have had the best traveling fans in this tournament. Did you see the fans in that stadium in the semi-final? It was a sea of yellow. It was as if they were playing that game in Barranquilla, And so, yeah, Argentina also, as you know, I mean, they have some of the best traveled fans in the world. So it's going to be really interesting to see what things are going to be like in the Miami Township at the Hard Rock Stadium on Sunday. But unfortunately, I have to say, I will not be there as well, Razak.
Oh, okay. Gary says he's not going to be there.
I'm not going to be here because I'll be at the Euros final.
He will top rate.
Okay, so Gary has to move, so we have to let go of Gary now. But Gary, just before you go though, just one little one on the Euros final. Just have your say on that, then we'll come back. Daniel wants to give us guarantee odds for the Argentina Colombia game, so we'll come to him for that. But Gary, just touch on the Euros briefly final, then we can let you go.
Well, yeah, obviously it's been a great tournament. I am not going to be drawn into the discussion and the debate about whether the Copa America has been better than the Euros. Sorry, I'm not going to be drawn into that at all. It's been a big debate, everywhere. But yeah, I think they are all very unique in their own ways and so on and so forth. We can go into the nitty-gritty. But Spain, England, I mean, it's from a marketing point of view, it's a very, very, very topical final, isn't it, Razak? And the storylines write themselves. It's going to be big no matter who wins, and it's going to be a phenomenal affair. I mean, Lamine Yamal, there's Nico Williams, there's the Fabian Ruiz, who many people think is going to be player of the tournament. Will Jude Bellingham be prime Ballon d'Or candidate if he wins the Euros, against Vinicius Jr.? Should Lionel Messi, for example, be Ballon d'Or favorite if he wins Copa America? Would it be fair to Jude Bellingham? If, there's so many storylines around it, and the Spanish fans have been traveling well, the English fans obviously being who they are. It's going to be a remarkable atmosphere in Berlin as well. And yes, I just should say, Razak, I have just landed in Berlin actually right now. So I'm at the airport and using the Wi-Fi, and I have to go. That's why. But I am in Berlin right now,
guys,
and I can't wait for the Euro final. Yeah, so I'm down for Copa America, and I'm going to do the Euros as well.
Every day with the things that 7 day US.
International.
Berlin.
International.
Let's zoom into the Euros right now. Right now, Berlin.
Berlin. I mean, it's a good experience, and it's going to be wonderful as well. Given the choice of Uruguay versus Colombia versus Argentina and Spain versus England, Charlie, I thought there'll be more history to be made in the Spain versus England one. So Charlie, make a day there. Yeah, So I mean, it's going to be on Sporty TV, as you know, and Sporty and Joy have been doing a lot of work together. So I know that Danny and the commentary team will be doing some really, really good stuff on Sunday, and we'll also be linking up all weekend long. I'll be available to link up on all the multimedia and the Joy Sports shows throughout this weekend as well. Let's go get it, man. Let's go get it.
All right, Gary, thanks so much. And, Gary can go and settle ahead of that big game on Sunday between Spain and England. Yeah, man. This is... Charlie, we will never make up.
Sports Zone.
Sports Arena.
Well, this is Game Plan. And still tuned to Joy 99.7 FM. Remember that the Echo Bank Habitat Fair, Charlie, Ekosu, they happen for the Tema Metropolitan Assembly. So make sure you move there, go check out a few things. It's time to get it for yourself. TMA, live and colored. So you need to get there and check out a few things. It's time to get a house. If you've got a house, your house is, is not fully furnished. We've got anything you need. Charlie got it all there for you. So go there and see all that is unfolding at the Tema Metropolitan Assembly. And also remember that Chopbox revolutionizes students live by delivering textbooks, provisions, and birthday packages straight to campus and saving time and hassle. Now, with easy ordering via website, apps, or phone, students can focus on what matters. So, Chopbox Plus extends convenience, offering wholesale delivery to homes or businesses. It's not just a platform, it's a lifeline for busy student professionals and families in Ghana. So, experience the convenience. And you can call us on 030-223-9134 or 053-047-4694 or visit www.chopboxonline.com and download the Chopbox Online apps. And you can get your kids sorted, wherever they are across the country, in any school they find themselves. So Chopbox, that's just the way to go. And also, remember that under the distinguished patronage of Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude Tokonu, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, the UPSA Law School proudly present the 2024 Lifetime Achievement in Law Award and honorific lecture. The event presents a rare but high-level opportunity to recognize and acknowledge the outstanding and exemplary contribution of notable Ghanaian personalities in the areas of the rule of law, governance, and the legal academy. Now, this year's Lifetime Achievement in Law Award will be conferred on Nana Dr. S.K.B. Asante, the Paramount Chief of Asante Asokore and former Director, United Nations Center on Transnational Corporations, and Chairman of the Committee of Experts which drafted the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. Charlie, big man. And this is going to be at an August ceremony befitting the aura of the occasion. The event comes off on Thursday, the 25th of July 2024 at 5 p.m. at the Kofi Ohene Kunedu Auditorium at the UPSA. So visit the social media platforms of the UPSA Law School or call 0245-347946 for more information on this event. Well, the big question now is it coming home? The last time they won it, they won any trophy at all, 1966. 1966. What Ghana is saying, the last time you win a trophy here in 1982, 1980, over 40 years. Charlie, the last time some people won it was in 1966. Now, guess what happened in 1966 in Ghana? That was the year Nkrumah was overthrown. Charlie, I don't know the way the team do.
Kwame Nkrumah.
So when Ghana, if you say, was mourning for the overthrow of Nkrumah, that was the last time England had any form of.
Was Ghana mourning then?
Right now, check out the more, so we can take on like But that was the last time England had any form of excitement. Charlie, they came close in the last Euros. We're hoping to do home and win, but Charlie, Italy show them straight. Italy show them. But come Sunday is against the Spaniards, who, to be very fair, have been the best team in this tournament. But if you look at how England have gotten to the final, it's giving us 2016 vibes, how Portugal managed to defeat France and clinch the title. Portugal, draw, final.
It's not true. They are
Bow! Then they won.
They are two completely different scenarios.
Because
two
Ronaldo was in one team.
Portugal were underdogs who snacked through. England were part of the favorites. Some guy is giving anybody.
England have not been the best team in this tournament.
But they've
Between
won
Spain
games.
and
Portugal
England.
drew 3 times, went to draw, penalties, draw. But Portugal won one game? Wales. Quick.
Anyway, what is going to happen on Sunday? What is going to happen on Sunday? The way Daniel has started, I won't start with him. The way he started, I can't afford to start with him.
Don't kill the fire.
Let me start with Achu. Let me start with Achu. Achu.
Tijani, you say what?
No.
Start with Daniel. Don't kill the fire. Tijani, behave yourself.
Relax.
Tijani.
The way that I started, look, guys. One thing that I'm struggling to understand is that when England and the Netherlands were playing and Xavi Simons scored the goal, I was here in the studio. If you guys can see us on Facebook, Daniel was sitting on this chair just across me, and he ran. I said, Daniel, Charlie, Kobe Menu, Ghana links, what happened for here? So, Charlie, the Netherlands for goal. I said, no, Yawa. But just about a minute ago, someone they do say it is coming home. So we need to verify. Daniel, is it Spain or England that you are supporting in this final?
Boga, my team is out. So, no. In fact, to be frank, when I woke up this morning, I wanted Spain to win. When we went on Euros today and Karim was talking, I changed my mind. And I won't make England win. Tomorrow I'll wake up, then I see some Bellingham post and I'll go vex. Then right now I won't. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not
But
sure.
as we are speaking now.
Speaking now. We'll save Bukayo Saka. Thank you. No. Yeah,
Okay, let's go. Charlie, big game coming up on Sunday. And remember that, guys, we're going to be at the Heritage Craft Brewery on Sunday for the commentary. The team is going to be there, so you want to join us there. But, guys, let's talk about it, though. England, Spain, it's fair to describe Spain as the best team going into this final. But it leaves to be seen if, despite being the best, they'll go ahead to defeat stubborn England in this final. Daniel.
Charlie, but you know what I call him, Tijani?
What's up?
Watch Zach in facial features. From right under the eye to the chin. You don't see Tijani Renders, the GM. Watch your face. See the camera there, you just glance at the camera, quick one. Make them see your face. You the GM, bro. Tijani. But, Charlie, look, this is a final. And I'm talking from an England point of view. I'm not watching the game. The English fans are not watching the game to be entertained. They have never won Euros before. England fans don't care how. They just want the trophy. So Gareth Southgate shouldn't approach the game with a nice, fancy style thinking. No. Be as pragmatic as possible. Now, this is the reason why you need to be pragmatic. Spain are more settled in their style. This is a philosophy that it's been there for years. Spanish players from wherever, the last year, that under 17 Euros they play is the same style that they were playing. That's how they play. So the Spaniards are well versed in this possession-based attacking style of football. That is their game. And we know that is what will come and play. Those principles will be evident on Sunday. Maybe the tactical instruction will be different, but we know that Spain will enter the game wanting to control possession whilst creating chances. So the same principles. Now, I'm of the POV that, look, England has done something that has worked for them since 2018. It is not possession-based. They've been a very good counter-attacking team. And from the 2018 squad to the last Euros to the World Cup in Qatar till now, they've always had tools in the team to be able to exploit that counter-attacking system or to be able to play that counter-attacking system. What I like about this team is it seems a bit more balanced. So when you go to the World Cup in Russia and the last Euros where they had the Calvin Phillips and the Liverpool guy Henderson, if they wanted to play possession style football, it didn't necessarily suit them. But this time around, they can decide to do that. They can also decide to be on a counter-attacking team. And I feel like, Charlie, when you look at this game and you look at how Spain have played their football, The difference between this Spain team and the 2012, 2008, 2010 Spain team is, I think this team gives away a bit more chances to the opposition. Or this team has more spaces to exploit than that previous team. The Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets them were a bit more tidy in possession. They kept the ball so well, and they did a very good job of dictating the tempo of the game than this team. And when I say dictating, they had a way of killing the tempo. So they knew that when teams picked up the ball, they wanted to quickly spring up on a counter. Their counter press was so efficient, and when they get it, it's slow passing, and it literally takes the steam out of the game. That when you the opposition, when you win the ball, like your muscles are tired, the mental strength, everything's just gone down. It's like 0 to 100, and it drops again, and it has to rise and drop again. That thing always disturbs opposition team or footballers in general. So they had a way of doing that thing to the optimum level. But I think this team, the game I watched against the Spain-Germany game and the France game, there are spaces in that Spanish team to exploit.
True.
But it's been a combination of two things. In the Germany game, it was poor finishing. That game could have gone either way. Germany had their chances, really good opportunities. Spain also had their chances. And when it comes to situations like that, when you are assessing, you can't necessarily say Team A was better and they deserve to go through ahead of Team B. These things are... In the game against France also, the last 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, France also got some good opportunities in transition. And when I say opportunities, I'm not talking about chances that ended up in shots. I'm talking about scenarios that when you looked at the elements involved, you expected better from the scenario. So it's like a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-2 where France have Mbappe, Dembele, and somebody else on the ball. And based on their ability, you expected a much better end to that scenario. And when Bakula came on, especially on the left-hand side, he had a couple of those chances. You get past his opposition, then France are charging on. Then it's a poor pass and some move, and Mbappe will very poor decision making at the end of the day. But the fact of the matter is that we saw spaces, and England must first of all defend well, because you don't want the case like France where you are now chasing the game and you throw caution to the wind where the opposition can punish you, because Spain also have it in their arsenal to catch you on the counter. We saw that against Italy when Italy were going gang-ho looking for an equalizer, and Spain had several opportunities where you can score 5 or 6 in the last 10 minutes. So defend well. That is the principle. In defending well, what has worked for them is since they changed to the back three, which has worked for them since. I don't know why Southgate wasted 3 or 4 games before eventually reverting back to the back three. So go with your back three. But when you figure out, for me, the game plan, defending well, looking for counter-attacking opportunities, you also need to go down to personnel and who plays. Now, this game is a final. You need balls. Balls to be able to drop players that may not fit into the style you need to play to win. And in that, look, 2 people must start. 2 players must start for me, in my opinion. First one is Oli Watkins. Because if his speed and his runs, the runs he makes in behind, that is how you'll be able to exploit the Spanish defense. And secondly, you need industry in midfield. This is not a game that you are going to be possessing the ball and passing the ball around. This is a game that your midfielders will be required to run off the ball and be working hard rather than what they'll do on the ball. Conor Gallagher, he must start this game. Now, Gallagher is like those, you see those winding toys, the one that you do quen at the back.
They'll be bouncing around.
Thank you. Gallagher, McTominay, those kind of players. When it comes to these one-off assignments, go into this game, I want you to do A, B, C. Do this specific game. So, again, obviously, a game that you are not going to. Specific instructions on the base of a counter-attacking display where you know you are not going to control possession. Chelsea, Man City, Chelsea at the Etihad. That sort of job he did on Rodri. Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
That is the sort of job that England need him to do. For me, if you are able to, in as much as the players in front of Rodri, Fabian Ruiz has been brilliant. Nico Williams, Dani Olmo, Pedri, Lamine, Morata, even with his runs, because he's not scoring, people think, but his runs are so intelligent, creating space for the rest. If you're able to cut the supply from Rodri, that is the first base. If Rodri doesn't have a good game, it is going to affect everybody else in the Spanish team. And that's where, for me, a player like Conor Gallagher will come in. I don't think Menu has the lungs and that discipline to be able to chase him up and down without the ball consistently being on him. I think England needs somebody to stop Rodri. And if there's anybody in that squad who can do it, it is Conor Gallagher. So for me, Conor Gallagher must start.
Okay.
So I will sacrifice Menu. Now, between Foden or Harry Kane, one of them for tap. And that's for my POV. Ideally, I would have benched Foden and played Oli Watkins. So that, and we know that Kane, when his teams are playing counter, he has the ability to drift into midfield, those killer passes in behind, and of course, it will feed your friend example. No. Watkins, who will be making those runs. Saka too can. But Harry Kane has not been himself. So, when I'm looking, the Kane I've seen in this competition, some way. But again, when I say he needs to have balls, I don't want to sound hypocritical. Me, yesterday I saw a tap Kane. When I went to sleep, I was thinking about the team. Charlie, Kane should play. Foden will tap.
Yeah, that would be an easy decision.
Then Oli Watkins will play from
all right
that sort of 10. But more importantly, Trippier, this is the game he has to play in that wing back. Because Lamine Yamal, he's playing from the right hand side. He doesn't go out wide. He's constantly cutting in. We saw him in the previous game against France where he was asked to drift in. Most all the left-sided defenders in this competition, all of them left-footed. But this is a situation where Trippier is right-footed. So if Lamine Yamal is coming inside, that is what suits Trippier. So if England are going to switch anything, this one dear Shaw shouldn't play. Because if Lamine is not going to be sitting out wide waiting for Shaw to do one-on-one. He's going to come in. Trippier once he comes in, he's coming on Trippier's good side and he can follow him inside. So that one will be better off defensively than putting Luke Shaw there. So Trippier, Guehi, Stones, Walker, Saka. Gallagher, Rice. Bellingham will come back, box to box. He will work alongside Gallagher. Watkins, Kane. England will fish off Spain.
Let me come to Achu, then I'll come to Sicho. After that, we can wrap it up and we'll have a conversation at the Democracy Cup. You know, the organizers, Jeffrey Asari and co are around, so we can talk to them before we wrap up the show.
He's here.
Yeah,
Where?
He's here. He's Waba.
Jeffinho.
Yeah. Come, he outside small.
If your name will fit do in your
Jeff.
You sport it.
I don't say you no try for
If Jeff enter here, he go insult me.
Jeffinho.
Jeff go insult me right now.
I don't say Sicho, you no try for
What
me.
I do?
You were there, you never mentioned my name plus email before.
Oh,
No say look, you pay me back.
Danilo.
Okay, guys. Before I come to Sicho and Achu, just briefly though, let's just take this quick commercial, and then we'll come back and continue the Euros conversation so that we can also get to talk about the Democracy Cup that's coming up a week from now. Big game to celebrate the 30 years of parliamentary democracy. So between Accra and Kumasi and Santo Koto, a big one. So we'll be back, guys, very shortly after this quick break.
The luckiest
star 712 hash.
luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Welcome and now for a daily star 712 hash and found no regrets. A side comma investors are a striking gold. A comma health workers are a diagnosing luck with precision. A side comma that tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. Say a comma passionate fan or also entering containing a joy. Affair to the seamstresser or turning a hard end stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now a comma if you say your next big win is right here.
Star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere.
Dial star 712 hash and join the luckiest winning celebration. From the 1st of July 2024, dial star 712 hash to keep buying tickets as a group, individual, or even as a community. Win loads of cash and prizes in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Join the winning streak now.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
Let go of the overpriced land, home ownership, and furnishing deals. Get the best deals for all your housing needs at one place. Visit the EcoBank Joy News Mini Fair at the Tema Metropolitan Assembly premises from July 12 to 14, 2024. The fair is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily and admission is free. If you live around Tema, Spintex Road, Bong, Community 25, Dowenya, Pram Pram, Chopoli, and Dawa, among others, then don't miss this fair. EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Get a house, make it a home. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Citizen Habitat, Rent to Own, and sponsored by Elegant Homes, where quality meets value. Safety and home solutions. You think of a door, we have it. G&J Technical Services. G&J, the generator people. DPS Pipes, connecting you to life. Global Lighting, your solution to quality lighting. Superlock, you deserve the best. Everlock UPVC windows and doors, the right choice for your windows and doors. Syntex Tank, Air Strong, Air Tough, Less Fortune Limited, luxuriously perfect. DBS Roofing Industry, your roof experts. Virtual Security, complete security solution. Build free solar hybrid air condition, cooling for the people. Your bed security doors, protecting lives and properties. And Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investments. EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Get a house, make it a home.
Life in Denmark can be quite different for an African legend like Michael Essien. The weather, the food, the silence. But there is always a place he can call home.
Home is where your heart is.
Sportybet. Play with champions.
Welcome back. This is Game Plan. It's me, Razak Musbah, and the guys are still in the studio. Achu is there, Chicho is there, Daniel is here. We're talking about the Euros final come Sunday, England versus Spain. Daniel has had his stake. We're going to hear from Achu then to Chicho. Afterwards, we'll get to talk to the team on the Democracy Cup before we wrap up. We've got just about 30 minutes to go. So let me come to Achu. Achu, you know, when we're on break, I don't know what it is, but he doesn't look to be sympathizing with England, but let's see where he's if I can.
So I'll start from where Daniel ended. I wouldn't play Trippier in this game.
Oh.
The advantage of going with someone who can stay with Yamal would be that presumably he would want to hold on to the ball for long.
But you mentioned
that has not been Yamal's game in this competition. He releases the ball very quickly. Even look at all of the assists that he's given. He beats the player, raises his head. That's it. He's sort of a very gifted end product merchant, right? He has all the tools to excite you, but even at 16, he's not looking to hold on to the ball unnecessarily. And the Luke Shaw advantage will be in clogging up the spaces. Someone who has a natural tendency to tuck into the half space to add to the numbers, because England are going to need that. Look, there is one thing I think Gareth Southgate has to prepare for, which is the most common phenomenon in how Spain have scored their goals. A lot of them very central, from midfielders who are making late or the third runs into the box, sometimes shots taken from the edge of the area, from players who completely have not been picked up. So against Italy twice, against France. We saw the 2 chances they created from that were intended for Fabian Ruiz. He missed one. I think the other was cleared before then. Against Germany as well, they created 4 of those chances. 2 of them resulted in a goal, including the one that Mikel Merino came off the bench to score. Rodri's efforts, his only goal of the competition, came from a very central area, the edge of the box. Fabian Ruiz has scored from that distance as well. Dani Olmo, both goals. You can picture how the goals have come from. The problem that I had was how France saw all of this, yet allowed it to happen. And when I say allowed it, because I thought they, in terms of personnel, were better equipped to deal with that threat, because all through the competition, France are about the only team who starts every game with 3 ball winners. Right? So you expect that they would show Spain that level of respect in setting up in a manner that requires at least each player to pick out one of those players who has shown all tournaments that this is my bread and butter. They can somehow they carve that space, someone makes the run, and if you don't pick out that run, the ball is in the back of the net. Look, you are not going to count on, or you can't count on the chances that Fabian Ruiz missed against France all the time that I'm going to live, because this tournament he's also shown that when the chances fall to him, he can score from his head, from his feet. And that's why England need to set up in a manner that reflects a certain respect for Spain with that particular problem. And so you need, like Daniel said, more runners, players who have got that defensive awareness. And that is not a job for Kobbie Mainoo.
So you also
I think they need
Gallagher for that.
Yes. But to cure the deficits that Mainoo's absence will create, and to ensure that they have someone who will play those passes and release the ball quickly when the team has to play on that front foot. Because look, England are not going to have the ball for longer periods. They will hardly get any momentum. So when they have the ball, they have to make it count. And that's why having players who can go direct and have a greater chance of finding their targets men is important. And that's why I will play someone like Trent over Kyle Walker. But you do that when you are also going to that game with a plan to ensure that under no circumstance is Trent exposed in a 1v1 situation with Nico Williams. So
Trent will play right centre back.
Wing back. No, right centre back, yes. Right centre back and maintain where Saka would play. Further up the pitch.
Giving Trent a new position in a cup final, like he's never been there before.
He's played as wing back for England before.
No.
Right.
Walker's playing right centre back.
Yeah.
So if you're
Because
going
they're
to
playing
replace
3 backs. So if they're going to replace
Yes.
That is a new. That's complete. I mean, it's completely new to him.
I think he can do it if the instructions are clear enough, and he's not required to do any more than his abilities will. That's why I said, for me, the most important thing would be have your midfielders who track those runs, because defensively he's a bit suspect. His main job is to give the team a lease of life whenever they have it. Unfortunately, the center of the pitch may be too clogged for him, and even against significantly weaker opposition, he's been lost in games when he's played in midfield. And against, for all intents and purposes, the most technically sophisticated midfield, that's not the game for Trent. So I wouldn't play him in midfield.
But quick question: If you admit that England should approach it in a more pragmatic manner, meaning they are not going to control the ball, it means they are going to do a bit more defending than offensive play. So if you have Saka and Trent behind him on that right hand side, that is God working a miracle for Nico Williams.
If they do the job well, they won't have to do too much defending inside their box. The whole game plan should be about stopping Spain from getting shots from or passes in those central areas, because in this competition, England have considered 29 shots from inside their penalty area. Spain have a lot of the shots Spain have scored from have come in exactly those. The only exceptions would be Lamine Yamal's efforts. So the problems England have faced up until this point are designed for the nature of goals Spain have been scoring. So if they allow any of that, Spain will kill them. It won't take half an hour. That's why for me, do the hard work in the middle of the park. Clog those spaces. If there are going to be any threats, it should come from wide areas, right? Where you force them to go wide in positions that you have also set up in a manner that takes away any chance of any 1v1 situations, especially with Nico Williams.
Okay. Let me bring.
Just a final point on this. Kane shouldn't start this game. Foden shouldn't start this game. I would go with Anthony Gordon because you need runners in behind and players you can release, and then Oli Watkins.
Interesting. Sicho.
Yes, I'll do it quick so that my boss Jeffrey Asari will have plenty time. Jeffrey, you see, say they give you time. You see, you come and insult me, but you are there. Anyway, look, Southgate won't change anybody. So I'm going to do the analysis based on the players we all know
he will play.
Start. Those who started the semis, off. Then now they go start. The same back line, the same midfield, the same front line, but he's got an option of changing something with his bench, which is used well in the tournament, right? Ivan Toney was instrumental the last time he called upon him. Cole Palmer and Oli Watkins were massive or immense the last time he called upon them. So it's a good thing to have as a manager when you look behind you and you've got something to throw on when you need to refresh something in the game. It's a good thing to have. So I'm going to look at how the team that we all know he will start can work out against Spain. And you see, we are all analyzing England because as for Spain, it's set.
He said.
You see, as for the Spain, you see, there's no tinkering. No. It's not about should Ferran Torres start.
And Fuentes said he says he's not going to change anything.
No, it's set. So no, that is why the way the boys are they are talking about, they are thinking about England because Spain they are big. You know, so yeah, we all know how Spain will play, and we all know how dangerous. And I should mention it. The late runs into the box. Spain have got 8 different goal scorers in this competition. You know, Danny Cavell has chipped in some, Nico Williams.
All from central areas.
Boga, everybody they enjoy some. Danny Olmo, you know, now.
Better than Rashford.
Now, this is what I think England should do with the players that will start. That midfield box that he has created in Manu and Declan Rice, Bellingham and Foden, using the back three, have an essential job to do, right? But he's got the personnel in that team to do that job and crack it. Now, Fabian Ruiz has been massive in this competition for Spain. Rodri, as always, he's so good with almost. You're finding normal because the guy do him every day consistent. But Foden and Bellingham are the 2 players who, if England can defend well, need to start well or start defending well. Because they would be the people who would need to stop Fabian Ruiz and Rodri from dictating the Spanish game. It starts there. Everything else is extra.
Cause and effect.
If Foden, we know Foden's a disciplined player when it comes to instruction because he's playing under that system. He knows Rodri well. Bellingham, we know in Real Madrid, he's had to go into big games where they've agreed that they won't see a lot of the ball, so they would have to do jobs on certain players. So he can take on that instruction. So Foden and Bellingham, the 2 number 10s for England, must play as 2 number 6 for England higher up the pitch.
Very important.
They must be closing in on Rodri and then Fabian Ruiz. This is the danger. Rodri is not aesthetically a dribbler you'd always see. But he can dribble. He has the drop of the shoulder that can skip past whoever is doing a man marking on him. As for Fabian Ruiz, he will train for you to see. Say he has trained you. It's not Rodri's own song. So that will be the danger. So apart from stopping the ball from getting to them, when they have the ball, how close are you? How tight are you? So they don't have the space to dribble or maneuver. Bellingham and Foden will be crucial. And I trust those 2 boys have got the discipline and the work rates to be able to do it for Southgate. Then behind them, they would have Rice and then Manu. I agree that they will need industry. As for that one, you see, I agree. But Gareth, so I'm talking about what's the
reality.
Now, Declan Rice, if Bellingham and Foden are able to do their jobs well, Declan Rice and Manu will have it easy to plug holes and mop up. Now, when England have the ball, the very little possession that they will have, if somebody is in distress, the most comfortable player in the midfield under pressure is Kobe. It doesn't matter how young he is. Like, he's shown that under pressure, he can take the ball, win some fouls, take some pressure off the team. So England will have a lot of the ball. But when they have the little ball, they need to bounce it off somebody who can hold it for them for the 2 extra seconds to get maybe Walker or Saka or Foden them's in place, that could be Menu. So Menu could be doing a Tony Cruz for them. If Bellingham and Foden do the job on Ruiz and Rodri, Menu would be freed up not to engage. Menu off the ball. See, he's young, so I don't want to say, but let me pass the comment. Menu off the ball offers very little. It's not his fault. He doesn't have the physicality and the tenacity to get up in the face of players and win balls and things.
It's the defensive awareness.
Yes, he's young. He will grow. He will grow into it. It will come. If Menu plays, that is why when we've seen Menu, he's been brilliant for England in games that England has seen a lot of the ball. So against Netherlands in the first half, he was superb. Yeah. But in the second half, we didn't see him because England didn't play. Right? So if England have that ball for that 2 minutes, 2 seconds, if they can bounce off Menu, then he has a job to do.
Quick.
If Foden and Bellingham don't do the job on Rodri and Ruiz, the Menu will be useless. Declan Rice will struggle. And then Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams will have fun. You see, finally, Spain are favourites. As on paper, as we speak, they are champions. No, as we speak right now, I'm matching England. Like the ball and they play, champions. I still think that England's backline have got individual qualities to match up to some of the threats that Spain's forward line can pose. See, Walker as that extra centre back. If he has to come out and face Nico Williams won't play anything. He won't survive. He's been great. Like I like him, but he won't beat Walker. If Walker has to step 1-on-1, nobody beats that guy. Like the idea grow, I can't say. Mbappe no the fit, Vini no the fit. Nobody the fit. Nobody Nico go fit. Right? Raheem owns up some way. So when it comes to Nico Williams, England and Saka's work rates in tracking back with the way he did against Netherlands, they can solve the Nico Williams problem there. Right? Then it comes down to what's Gay, who has shown to be very good, and either Luke Shaw or Trippier can also do against Lamine Yamal. So when it comes to those two small boys with sharp teeth or small boys with quick legs, England might have scenarios where or individuals who can control them. But the biggest problem for England would be how they are able to contain Rodri and Fabian Ruiz. If Bellingham and Foden get that job done, it's the start of how England are stopping Spain from flowing. And then when the game is progressing, Gary Southgate can do what people are asking him to do. Only Watkins will come play some. Then things. But those who are starting, this is how they should play. If they do it that way and do it well, they've got a chance.
Amazing. So, guys, that is definitely the best way to, draw the curtains on the Euros conversation and switch to that big game coming up come next week, Friday, at the Accra Sports Stadium. Democracy Cup between Accra and Kumasi and Kotoko. So, but remember that we're going to bring you a live commentary of the Euros final from the Heritage Craft Brewery. And this Sunday, so join the Joy Sports team at the Heritage Craft Brewery at East Legon for the final of the game between England and Spain. Big question is, can Hurricane lead England to a first ever Euros title? Or will Spain win their fourth? We will have a giant screen at the Heritage Craft Brewery where you can watch the game, jam to some cool music, and have amazing food. So what's more, you will have a chance to win home appliances from our sponsors NASCO, ranging from electric cookers, irons, blenders, and many more. So join us this Sunday, July 14, from 6 p.m. for a fun-filled evening. Joy Sports coverage of Euro 2024 is by kind courtesy, Sporty TV, and sponsored by NASCO, Bring Home Happiness, and Heritage Christian University College, educating compassionate and entrepreneurial leaders. Yep. But also remember that the show is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience. So just make sure to log on to any Petrosol station and fill your tank. It's a long weekend, so why not go fill your tank and have it all to yourself. Well, in studio with me, like I mentioned, relative to the Democracy Cup, Jeffrey Asari and Opoku have joined me. And it's a big game coming up. Big game coming up. But guys, these are in the Ghanaian airwaves, these are big people. In our sister station, they will say big people. And I have to mention that Jeffrey Asari, when I went to Summer Boy, really helped me what do you call, facilitated so many things to make it happen for me to go this report on Samatech. So let me say thank you to Jeffrey on the airways here. So Jeffrey, thank you so much for the support. Yeah,
Welcome, my brother. Yes.
Yeah, man.
But between the two, he's the big man. This is the biggest.
I was actually coming to him.
He's the biggest.
He's indeed the very, very big man.
Fantastic.
The very, very, very big man. Chairman Opokunti. My boss, you are welcome to Game Plan.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well, so let's come to, what do you call it, the Democracy Cup. But even before we come to Democracy Cup, permit me to ask Opokunti this question.
No problem.
And it has to do with his darling club. You know, yeah, I have to ask you so he can get some soundbite. Some soundbite on this. When you look at the state of the club at the moment, the changes they've made to the players, what they are trying to do next season, what sitting back, what has been your impressions of the club in terms of the level it finds itself now?
I think what we are doing now, the club is doing now, supposed to have done last season. And it proves that Kotoko always has to go for the quality. And so I think what they are doing now, compared with the last season, is way far better than what happened last season. Because Kotoko always have to go for maturity, the best ones.
Yeah.
Then you create competition among the players. Then the players start to fight for positions. Then it raises the standard of both whether we are on the bench or you are starting. It raises the standard for the team. So a good team is always the team that has good substitutes. Because anything happens. If you build a team around only 11 players, when one is injured and it's not coming, maybe in 3 months' time, you need to fall on the other one also to fit into the team, and he has to also to gel with the team. So a good team is always a team that have good substitutes, and I think now Kotoko is doing the right thing.
In terms of the signings?
In terms of signings, maybe last year what was also happening to Kotoko was the time frame. Because time play important role in football.
Yeah.
You can have the money, and if you don't have time, it will not work. Time always comes first. Because as you are waiting and you are waiting, the window has been open, recruitment is being done here and there, and you are waiting and waiting. By the time you get yourselves and you want to move, because this is the time that you have the money, or you have changed the system, whether the new management or the board, the time will affect you. So you come in and all the players has been scattered. Everyone has bought good ones, and you need to fall on. And that is what happened to Kotoko.
Yeah.
But this time, it's very clear. They are doing the recruitment, going for the quality and mature ones. And I think it will be a different story this season for Kotoko.
Amazing. Well, we all wait to see how things unfold at the club. Well, the legend himself, Opokunti, is the man we have in studios today. But to the substantive issue, it has to do with the Democracy Cup. And I'm curious to see if we are going to see the legend himself on the field again. Amazing. Legend, are you going to be on the field? Because we know there's going to be the Black Stars players game against the Parliamentarians.
Yeah.
Aruna Idrisu, Okujeto Ablakwa. And I'm curious, are you going to see the legend at the Crossport Stadium again?
By the grace, I will be there.
Amazing.
I will be there.
You'll be playing.
And I will pray.
Amazing.
You give me 20 minutes, it's okay for me. And I will also showcase my talent. Those who haven't seen me, or those who have seen me, will remember me. And one thing I'm afraid, we have to let the parliamentarians know that, look, football is for footballers. And when we win against them, They should not say they won't sign our budget too.
They have to take it in good faith.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to take in the good faith.
Uh-huh.
And so the supporters, I'm urging the supporters to come to the stadium and watch. The legends, some of them didn't have time to, or was not born when they were playing. And so this is an opportunity for everyone to see the legends to playing. And I am happy that this game is coming on in Accra Sports Stadium, because Accra Sports Stadium is Kotoko home ground.
This debate, eh?
And Kotoko is going to beat us.
Oh my goodness.
The third time, so it's also be in the record books.
They beat them back to back this season, and they are going to make it the third victory over
us.
Amazing. If you look at the season that has have had and the defeat they've suffered under Kotoko in the just ended season, they are already looking forward to seeing maybe this match as an opportunity to
take revenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. You see, Haas is always they say our old girlfriend, and your old girlfriend, you know how to lure that your girlfriend. So I think this year Koto has upper hand over us. They will try to turn it, but at the end of the day, I know for sure with these signs. Now, I'm also urging Kotoko supporters, those who are in Accra, you haven't seen what is happening in Kumasi. So it's big opportunity to come in your numbers to see the new players that you have signed. If our former coach, the legend Kwesi Appiah, who is now a coach at the Sudan national team, bringing 2 players from where he's coming from, then you know that it's a done deal for Kotoko to win against us.
Amazing. It's a done deal. It is the maiden edition of the Democracy Cup, and the legend of Opoku Inti is saying that as far as House of Folk is concerned, no, it's not going to be any Herculean task for Kotoko at all come next week Friday.
Yeah. They are our girlfriends, so and they are in Accra here. In Accra here, the capital.
Yeah.
Whereby you get visa in Accra to travel. They will be here. We will come from Kumasi to take the visa and go to America after the game.
Yes, because and Jeffrey will talk about that very very shortly, because the winner of the game get the opportunity to fly to the USA to play DC United, and that's what Opoku Inti is referring to, that they will come win it and get the opportunity to fly to America. Amazing. So if you haven't seen Opoku Inti play, come next week Friday. He's going to be on the field Wednesday, rather, I beg your pardon. He's going to be on the field against the parliamentarians, because it's going to be a former Black Star side against the parliamentarians, and I'm curious to see how Okuchito Ablakwa, the Honorable, will fare. But Jeffrey, few days to the event. We're just under how many days? Just about 6 or...
Yes, it's next week. It's on the 17th. So
17th. Yeah. So how ready are we? I know you went to see the president some few days ago.
Yeah, last week Friday. Yes, and the president has promised to come and watch the game himself next week Wednesday. You know, when it comes to matters of democracy, it's one of the pillars. Historically, one of the pillars of democracy. So he's actually made a commitment to make sure that he's present there to throw his support behind this big and historic event. Beyond that, preparation towards it is very earnest. The parliamentarians are training 4 p.m. today at Accra Sports Stadium. They have started daring the legends that they think because they played football before, so they have what it takes to beat them. But they are also trying to tell the legends that they are also preparing feverishly and that they have a lot of surprise for the legends. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that curtain at 3 p.m. unfolds. Since they started training, the legends are training officially Monday. They also train at the Accra Sports Stadium. So, all roads leads to the Accra Sports Stadium. Wednesday the 17th, just try to grab your ticket, 20 Ghana cedis popular stand, 50 VIP, and 100 Ghana cedis VVIP. The request for ticket is going very, very hot. So if you want to witness this wonderful game, and then the main meal, House of Folk versus Asante Kotoko, remember this year Kotoko has done the double, and Opokunti has said that they are their former girlfriend. If you know what we call in Ghana parlance Lai Momo, what it means. I mean, you know your former girlfriend, you've done all kinds of things, you know. With a little rap, you can still have your way around her. Now, House of Folk say that this will not happen. And historically, Kotoko, no one has ever beaten the other 3 times in a season.
Amazing.
You understand me? Kotoko want to do that treble of House of Folk. And then there's the ticket to the USA.
Yeah.
That is what is even making more interesting. And Opokunti has said, and Kotoko fans are also saying that, look, we have beaten them twice this year. So we are coming from Kumasi, beat them again, and then take the visa. But I say we are closer to the embassy. Kotoko says it's not how closer you are to the embassy. It's what you exhibit on the field. We've seen what you have done this year. And now we brought additional quality into the team. That is why Opokunti was talking about there might be a massacre of some sort. But you know, as the Kotoko game are very dicey, very interesting. So all roads will lead to the Accra Sports, you know, Wednesday come 17, and everybody that can make it a point should be there. If you can't buy a ticket to give to people to come support, democracy is the most important thing that we need in this country. Without democracy, you and I will not be there. So above everything, we are celebrating democracy, and we have to be one. In a time when we are going to an election, we have to remember we are one people. We can agree to disagree, but we are one people. That is why you have the parliamentarians, both MPP and NDC, wearing one jersey to depict the objective of the Democracy Cup against the legend.
Amazing. Let me come finally to the legend, Opokunti. Apart from you, which other players are we going to get the opportunity to witness?
Steven Appiah, Lai Kinsey, Derek Boatin, Fatau Dauda, Frimpong Manson will be around.
Amazing.
Sam Johnson.
Wow.
Will also come.
Wow. These are real legends of the game. These are real legends of the game. Man,
so we need the supporters to come.
Yeah, they have
to come and watch.
They will have
just
to
have fun.
Yeah.
And especially Koto supporters.
You do the treble.
Especially Koto supporters.
If Opokunti is returning to the field, all right, and you're a Kotoko fan, you're not turning up on Wednesday, then you're not a true Kotoko fan. Opokunti is turning up to the field. He's going to don a jersey. Frimpong Manso is going to don a jersey.
Yeah, he's coming on
This
Sunday.
is the history. This is the history of Kotoko.
Yeah.
You have to be there. You know, so all Kotoko fans, wherever you are, Wednesday.
And Adai Chencheni is also coming. Yeah, the legend. Now he's a reverend.
Amazing.
The legend Adai Chencheni is also coming. So you can imagine. And you know, Adai Chencheni Frimpong Manso won 83 cup for Asante Kotoko.
Yeah.
Frimpong Manso, yes, he went to the final 1993. So these are top legends, both for the national team. He won the last cup. They were part of the team that won the last cup 82.
Yeah.
So top legends coming to town.
Amazing stuff. So guys, look, on Wednesday at the Accra Sports Stadium, just the ticket, and Jeffrey, just if you can reiterate the ticket, 20 cedis
for regular. That's what we call popular. That's where I myself and my guys will be. 50 cedis for you, the big man, and then VVIP. That's where Fentu and Co. 100 cedis.
Amazing. And where can they get a ticket?
Accra Sports Stadium, but we'll announce at the outlets other outlets by Monday. But if you come to the gate Accra Sports Stadium, gate open at 1 p.m. You have your ticket, and you have to come and listen wonderful music that will welcome everybody, create a wonderful atmosphere for the game. Yeah.
Amazing. So, guys, Wednesday is the date. We're all going to be there. Like you mentioned, you can move to the stadium on Wednesday and go get your ticket. Opokunti is going to be playing for Frimpong Manso. So these are legends of the game. And I want to say thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Mr. Opokunti. It's an honor to meet you. Real honor to meet you. So thank you so much for coming to the studio. And that's how we wrap up game plan today. The show is brought to you by Petrosol, your trusted fuel, your trusted brand for clean fuel in full quantity. Delighted to inform you that that we were adjudged the brand of the year at the just ended Ghana Energy Awards. That speaks volume to the kind of quality work we do. So make sure that you go to all petrol fuel stations to get your fuel, Petrosol clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience, and the Habitat Fair, Charlie Ekoso Pan, is happening at the the Tema Metropolitan Assembly. So go there and get yourself really sorted. But in wrapping up, big happy birthday going out to Pearl Hola Pongo. May God grant you all your heart desires and more. Thank you for being in my life. God bless you. That is from Robert. Well, guys, thanks so much for being part of the show. We'll be back same time, God willing, next week on Sunday at the Heritage Craft Brewery. That's where we're going to be. So make sure you join us there for the Euros final. All right? Make sure you join us there for the Euros final. Once again, Jeffrey, thank you. Opokunti, thank you so much. And to all of you for listening, thank you. My name is Razak Musbao, and have a wonderful day. Stay tuned